I'm DJ Flat T, and in this short video I'm going to take you through my new sample pack with Muzik Blox, which is out now. In the video I'm just going to take you through some of the sounds and features and show you a little bit of how you would use it creatively in a track. So let's dive right in.
Okay, so we're now open in Cubase 10.5 and I've preloaded one of the breaks in from the sample pack. Now, one of the most interesting features of the pack, in my opinion, is the flat pack construction kits. Now, this consists of 10 loops of drum breaks and bass respectively. And then it features layers, so the full drum break. So I've preloaded in the voices break here, and this is the full mix of the break. Now underneath is each layer that break consists of, so I'll just play you those. So this is the break, so this gives the sort of human splashiness and the character to the break. And then next we have the kick. And then the snare. And then the hi-hats. Now, what I would do when using these to make a track is I would normally like to change it about a bit, so make it individual and more original. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to get rid of the full mix, because at the top we're not going to use that. We're just going to use the layers. So I'm going to chop the top break into 1/8 segments or slices. And then what we're going to do is just change the pattern slightly. So in this case, the snare hits on the last beat of the bar. So we're going to change that to beat 4. Okay, and that obviously changes the feel of the break quite considerably. So let's hear that now. So as you can hear, it's a classic drum and bass pattern. And just do a tiny fade at the end just to avoid any pops or clicks. And then I'm just going to copy that twice. So we've got the full break in the bar, 2 bars, sorry. And then if we look at the kick drum, we can see that it is hitting in sync with the kick already. So we don't need to change that, which is great. Now, in terms of the snare, we will need to change this. As you can see, it's still hitting on the end of the bar, the last beat of the bar. So we will change this snare so it hits alongside the break at the top, so it's in sync, and that sounds like this. Now I've turned the hi-hats down a little bit because they were sticking out at the same volume as the other samples. So we just take that down so the hi-hats sit underneath, so they're not sticking out at all. I would further this with EQ as well, necessary. Now we're going to go into some basic processing. Now, I'm not a fan of over processing my drums unless it's sort of creative or deliberate. So we will just do, for the break, we'll just do a simple low cut, just to make sure there's no low frequencies or muddy frequencies in there. And that would be it for that. And on the kick, I would also do a bit of EQ. And again, it would just be a slight bit of a low cut, just to make sure that there's no low frequencies that might conflict with the sub bass later on down the road. And then I would also use some tube saturation just to give it a bit more life, and I like to use camel fat for that, so we just add a bit of tube there, and this is the result. And then for the snare, I would also add just a little bit of tube saturation as well to bring it up to the same level as the kick. so it matches up, and make sure that that snare really punches through in the mix. Okay, and then just finally on the hi-hats again, we're going to put some camel fat on there, and this time what we're going to do is add a little bit of tube and also 2% of the exciter, which will just very slightly enhance the top end frequencies of the hi-hat, just to make it shine through that little bit more. And this is the result. Okay, next I just want to quickly show you one of the guitar loops that I recorded for the pack. I did these myself using my Fender Strat, US Fender Strat, and any loops do have the tempo and the key included in the file name. So we're going to go with guitar loop 2. This is in E minor, and we're just going to hear it on its own. Okay, then what I would do is just copy the drum beat to the same length as the guitar loop, and then the result is this. Okay, so as you can hear, we've already got the startings of a nice liquid drum and bass tune. So this is the point where I would take the idea further and start adding sounds and then spreading it out and using it to finish the arrangement. So thanks for your time, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys soon.